Hey everybody, Lisa G back with you today. I've got another cute project that's going to take us 30 minutes or less, and we're going to get some great junk journal items out of it. If you would, before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe before you go. We do Happy Mail. You can check the description box and get information on how to get on our Happy Mail list, and we mail stuff out about once a month. And then if you would, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you'll get a notification the next time I upload something. So we're going to get started here, and we're going to work today with some more Dollar Tree items. And these are just some playing cards that I had bought. I've already used a few, and I'll show you what I got. It's just a standard deck of cards, and they're the Las Vegas style casino cards. That's why they're cut on the edge like that. But I have been using them and making journal cards out of them, and I'm going to show you how we're going to add some little extras to them. This tissue paper came out of a book box that my daughter had gotten, and I just liked the tissue paper because it was rainbow colored. Figured we'd do something with that. This is some Tim Holtz Collage paper that I had bought at Hobby Lobby last year sometime when it was on sale. And so I'm going to show you how I make these, and then we're going to add some backs to them and turn them into some journaling cards. Super quick, super easy, and you just get a lot of crafting bang for your buck, so to speak. We'll just work on a couple here. We'll take 3. And I usually work like 3 at a time just because that's easier for me. And you can use all kinds of different things. So, like old scrapbook paper, if you have a scrapbook page that you want to use. These are some napkins, and you can, totally use the top layer of your napkins to create journaling cards. I thought we might use this one today, so I'm going to use that. And then we might do another one in some collage paper. But as you know, with these napkins, all you have to do is take your 2 pieces and pull them apart so that you just have the one layer. You can save this. This can be used as a base layer when you're doing other collage work. So if you need, like a base layer to cover, say we want to try to get rid of that a little bit, we can take our base layer and paint it on there, and then do a second layer, and as you do it, it's gonna, fade out that background image so that you have less of that image. So we'll save this for later. And on this, we're just going to use this top layer, and we're going to add some Mod Podge. Now, you can get these little things at Dollar Tree as well. They have them for $1.25. And I usually just put a little on each one. And I've got my, I've got a thick brush. And again, this, probably came from Hobby Lobby. You can also make your Mod Podge using some school glue and just water it down a bit. Maybe add a couple of tablespoons of water to, about maybe that much glue in a jar, and just thin it out enough to where, it's not quite as heavy as the school glue. And, these are really easy and fun to make. So we're gonna sit that right there for a second. Whoops. And I will take my cards. Let's see. And I don't want to pick up, here, let me wipe off some of this so we can get rid of it here. I don't want my napkin sticking to this. I want it to stick to my cards. Okay, so I'm going to take this Let me just dry that off a little bit. And I'm going to take my cards and just flip them over and glue them down. And I try to get them kind of close to the edge. And we're going to go over them with another layer too, so we're going to go close to the edge. I want to give just a little gap in between so we can tear them apart or cut them apart, whichever we prefer. Now, once we do this, we're going to go back, turn them back over. And then we're going to put just a little more Mod Podge on there. And go back over them with our brush. And it's, you know, it's really easy to do. And like I said, you get, you know, you can do this and just do a whole mass make out of them. And let them dry. And then we'll tear them apart. So we're going to do that and let that dry for a minute. Let me move those off. And then we'll do, where did I put my, there it is. And we'll do a couple more. Okay. And one more Mod Podge. Get them good and coated. Now with the collage paper, I like working with the collage paper because you just get some really pretty images. But you know, when you can get them on sale, they're pretty inexpensive. And I just love Tim Holtz stuff, so I can work with Tim Holtz stuff all the time. I never get bored with it. But this is just a fun little collage paper that he does. And as you can see, like on my first ones, I used the butterfly. But this one's got all kinds of different things on it. So I just roll it over. Here, let me move these out of the way. I'll turn this over. And I just want to lay down my cards kind of right on that edge. Doesn't have to be perfect, Lord, don't you know. One of the cool things about this craft is there never has to be any perfection, which is kind of cool. Let's see. No, we're going to be stuck with that either way. Alright, we're going to do that. Now, some people like bugs, so, you know, like I say, anything that I make will most likely end up in a Happy Mail, somebody's Happy Mail. And it's just luck of the draw who gets what. Let's see, we're going to put this one right here. And like I said, we're going to, I usually take like a ruler and then tear this so that I don't waste a lot of my paper. You know, the collage paper, you get quite a bit, but it, you know, it's still about, when it's on sale, it's a little cheaper, like $4.80. But, you know, sometimes it's kind of expensive. And then we're going to go back and, you know, doesn't matter if they're upside down, right side up. That's not going to matter when we get to the end. Okay. And it is all about just having fun and, you know, creating. Seeing what you can come up with, you know. Okay. Now I'm going to let that dry for a little minute. And we'll come back to this again. And so what I plan to do on the reverse of these, and you know, I'm going to decorate these some and add some labels and, you know, some stickers and things like that just to zhuzh them up, you know. But I wanted to turn them into journal cards. And so my next thought process was, how do I turn them into journal cards? So I went and I created this coffee stain background so that I can make my own backs to these, and they'll just, you know, give it a little more oomph, you know. And here's where some of this white can come in handy. You could put the white on there so that it, you know, covers that just a little bit more, makes it a little less pop through. Or you can also use a heavier cardstock, which is what I did on my original one. And I made some just to put on the backs that, you know, I'm going to play with the idea some. So, I'm going to take these. Get my glue brush back out. And I want to glue these down. So what I've been doing is just taking them, putting my glue on there, just like I do for the other side. And then just glue it down to this edge. And we're going to add some inking around the edges and stuff. So when we get done, and we're going to add some lines. I'll show you how I did that. We're going to go through this whole step together and just see where we end up, okay? That's the beauty of this craft is, you know, you get to just sit down and play, and it doesn't matter, you know, right or wrong. You're just enjoying the time, just, you know, crafting and seeing what you can come up with. Okay. All right, we're gonna put that one down there. And we'll go back and cut these out here in just a minute. And then, of course, see, you know, you're going to end up with this on the back. So we're going to go ahead and do all 6 of these real quick. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for just a minute. And we'll take these apart. And, you know, you can do this however you want to. I like using this because I like the torn edges and the way those torn edges look. So we can do that. I'll go down through this whole side first. And like I said, you can find these cards at the counter, at the checkout at Dollar Tree. It's $1.25 for a box. And as you can tell, you get some, you know, some kind of cool stuff. And they don't have to be perfect. That's the great thing about it. So once we get finished here, oops, took part of that off, didn't I? I should let that glue a little longer. Let's see if we can fix that. All right. We'll let that glue for a few minutes, and we'll come back and check that one again. Okay? All right. These are almost dry. And see how pretty they turn out? And then we can do the same thing to these when we get finished and they get dry. But they're almost there. They're just about dry. Here's our other ones. They're still just a hair tacky. So we'll let them dry a few more minutes too. Alright. These could use a little more glue, it looks like. Let's see. This cardstock is not quite as easy to use the Mod Podge with, I have noticed. So we shall see what happens there. Okay. Now we can cut these, or you can go back with a sanding block and sand it off a little bit so that it kind of gives you that smooth finish. You can round it off. You can do all kinds of things here. And I just use my scissors and just kind of round them off a little bit, because it doesn't have to be perfect, remember? Okay. Alright. Now, so in order to do this side, and see, it's not perfect by any means, which is okay. And we're going to cover up and, you know, decorate a lot of this stuff anyway, so it's not going to matter. But what I did was I took just a regular block, and I got some rubber bands, and I spaced them evenly across my block, because I figure it will make a really cute rubber stamp. Here, let's do this. And I'm using just vintage photo. And then we're going to just place it down here. Let it sit for a second so the ink transfers really good. Didn't quite take, did it? But it's cute. Gives me an idea to going forward. I guess I probably need some fresh rubber bands. These were some that had been sitting around for a minute, and I was looking at them. I contemplated throwing them away. And then I was like, nope, you know what? I'm going to try them and just see what happens here. Let's see if we get any better. A little bit. And then I can, you know, go and make a, you know, write a little comment. So, it doesn't give us a whole lot of, I mean, it does. Let's go back and let's try making the lines a little further apart here. How about it? We'll have like 5 lines. We'll take these 2 off. That'll give us a little bit more room for writing space. There we go. That looks pretty good. We'll try that one on the next one. Okay. Cut these apart. And again, we're going to go back and, you know, we're going to take our ink and ink all around the edges on these guys, because it's going to, you know, lend to the authenticity of the whole idea. Give it that vintagey vibe that we like. Okay. And here, let's revamp that. Oops. Okay. That one right there just does not want to cooperate. Let's replace it. See if maybe this will help. If we get a different rubber band here. Oops. See if that does the trick. This is one of those instances where you can use your supplies to make new things. And, you know, there's a couple ways you can make some lines on your page. There you go. Just trying to get these evenly spaced here. Let's try that. Let's try just replacing that one there. See if that helps. See how close we got on this one. Oh, might need to work on that. Okay. Let's try a little bit darker. I'll try some scorched timber. That one situated there. Let's see if we can get our line to show up here. May have to go get me some new rubber bands so that I can try this whole idea again. I don't know why you're not showing up. I do not like that. I don't understand why either, because there's nothing under it that's keeping it from showing up. Let's see. Let's try just doing that one. See if we can't put it in there. That was the wrong color. Well, that helped a little bit. And there's another thing you can do. If you have a piece of cardboard that you can use. Let me go find one. Give me just a second. Alright, so this is just the end of a Nature Valley granola box that I had from Costco. You can go this way with it if you want to and make your lines. I'm going to use this side because I'm going to do one upside down here. Or, you know, go in the other direction. So you just get the edge of your card ready. And just lay down your line. And you can make them go all the way across. You can use a ruler if you need to. I'm just kind of guesstimating here. But I like the way it looks when you do it this way. There you go. And see, you've got it ready to, you know, take care of and put all your little journaling stuff on it. You can decorate. I think I will add some butterflies to this. I'm going to get my handy dandy glue book out. As you guys know, I love to, you know, find things that I can put on my cards and decorate with. And so, let's see, somewhere in here I have butterflies and fairies. There's butterflies. I think I might do that. And this should be a sticker. And let's go find a word, perhaps. That'd be kind of cute on there. Let's see. Here. Let's take our butterfly back off. We're going to, I think we're going to glue her down right there. I like that. I think that looks really cute together. And we'll go find a word we can put on it. Okay. And as you know, you just use like a little dab of glue to glue it into your glue book so that, you know, when you come back and pull it off, you can use it again. And it doesn't, you know, doesn't lose its, any parts of it, you know, and just, you've saved it for use somewhere else. I think that is the perfect addition to that. Let's fix that a little bit. Okay. Okay. I'll find a word for this one. Let's see. I might put that right there. Oh. think I'm going to put this one on here. And then I'll come back and find some fun little stuff to put on that one. This one is busy already, and I think it's just perfect the way it is. I'm not going to do anything to that just because I like that butterfly, that big bold look to it. And, you know, it'd be a perfect little journal card to drop in one of our little pockets, journal pockets. My rainbow one. Let's see. Let's find... I'm going to put this right at the top, I think. It's because I like the way that looks. Makes it look like a little tag. Let's do that. Okay. So I went and got some of my words, and I printed some off on some of the coffee dyed paper. And then I also I've got a couple of different sheets that I've downloaded. So I created this one. This is a great big list that is available on my Coffee. So you'd have to get the background sheet. That's a new one. That's a new freebie today. And then the words list, there's like 8 full pages, I think, 7 full pages of words that you can use that are all kinds of different stuff. So you can marry those two together and get this if you want. Otherwise, it just prints like this, and you can decorate it however you want. You can ink them, you can leave them white, whatever you want to do. And then these were some that I had found. Can't remember where I got these. I got them off the internet somewhere. And so, you know, you can use these if you want to. Like, let's see. Let's find something we can use for this guy. I kind of want to use this. Let's do... Oops. Let's do Radiant. And we'll do Breathtaking. And so what I want to do is cut this here, add a little bit more darkness to it there. Okay. Cut off the end there. And I want to kind of make them stand out a little bit. So I'm going to glue them down onto a piece of the white paper. Give them a little bit of border. And we can cut this if we need to. Where's my other one there? There it is. All right, and then I'm going to cut those again. And the whole idea is to kind of give them a border so they stand out a little bit. Okay, and then we're just gonna glue it down. So let's see, let's do that. And then I kind of want to take another piece of this and find me a pen here. Oh, make me an ampersand. Let's see. Okay. And again, I'm going to give it just a hair of ink. Let's get that just a little smaller. Just going to ink it just a little. Just enough to make it stand out some. I'm going to pop that puppy right in the middle here. There we go. And see, just that easy. Cute little journal card. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this one real quick. And then I will let you guys go play and see what you can come up with. Let's see. I kind of like, I found this. And I thought that might be a good thing to run up the side, or this. Here, let's tear that off there. There we go. I think I kind of like that right there, as it comes up on that edge where it's cut off just about perfectly right there. And let's find something we can put on this one. Maybe. That's perfect right there. That says field label shell lepidolite, which is some sort of butterfly lepidolite. I don't know that it's this one, but we're gonna roll with it just because it's about the perfect thing right here. There we go. And one more thing. Let's find a word for this one. And we'll use one of these. Let's see what we got here. Let's do do focus. It's kind of cute. Focus on the good. I'll just cut that edge off just a little more there. Okay. Okay. And of course, like I said, we can go back around with the ink and go around the edges and make it look all pretty and finished. All right, so there's two that we've done, and we're going to go back and play with this idea and do some more, and I will give you some pictures at the end of everything we ended up with, okay? All right, y'all go and have fun, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified the next time we upload. And I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back next week. Have a great day. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye.